Hi, of over 60 books, and he's global credibility expert. Please help me welcome Mitch. Welcome, Mitchell.
Good to be here. The internet's cutting in and out, so I'm not hearing a lot of what you said, but I heard you say welcome. Happy to be here. Nice to see you. Yeah, so we're live and I'm not hearing you. So we'll just say hi. Um,
Mitchell, let me start with this. Where were you? What happened? Who are you surrounded with that inspired you to do what you do today?
so I interviewed 500 thought leaders on credibility. And what ended up happening was some very shocking results. A couple of them, which were really interesting, is first 23% of people actually came late to a live interview, and so we just need to teach, train, and help people be better. But most importantly, 98% of people needed clarity on articulating in 10 words or less who they served and the pain point they addressed. And what I recognize is we're just not being taught the right things. We're not taught to be credible. We're not taught to share and wear our purpose on our sleeves. And so it was the 500. I'm now over 600 interviews, and I love doing this. And the overarching goal, the overall focus, is to allow us to be more humane by being more credible in who we are and how we interact, not just at work, not just with others, not just with our teams, but also with ourselves internally. One of the
What are
top
the
three
top three mistakes
Oh, by the way, this
mistake
is
people
great
to
because
avoid?
if I don't hear you, I can actually see you asking the question. So I appreciate that. The most interesting thing is um, not showing up properly to meetings. So in essence, not having the integrity to actually make sure you show up on time, who you are, and what you do. It's a huge mistake. I know that sounds obvious, but 2% of the people didn't show up and didn't say why. Another mistake that people made often is not coming prepared. So they showed up for a meeting or showed up for the interview, but didn't prepare ahead of time. And subsequently, how do I get to know, like, and trust you if you're not showing the best version of yourself? And the last thing is coming when you coming with your heart, showing up. So people actually showed up, but they gave me the routine boring answers. And it wasn't no, they were it's like they were reading from a script. Once again, if I need to know, like, and trust you, I want to be able to see you for who you are and what you do. So on the opposite side, in terms of avoiding mistakes, come early, come prepared, come with your heart. Oh, this is going to be a fun interview. Let me take a look at the questions you have. Oh, go ahead. Oh, what's the greatest failure story?
And what did you learn, and how did you recover from it? And we are kind of in the same situation at this moment. So yeah, let's.
Yeah, we're actually we have a failure story right at your greatest failure story is this interview right now when the internet doesn't work. So, um, mine is interesting. It was during the dot-com days, and I was as a speaker, I was getting paid $7,500 for keynotes, $5,000 a day in consulting. And my primary focus was on e-commerce, utilizing and figuring out how to use the internet inside of businesses and helping companies figure out what does that mean, both from the CEO and customer expectation and experience perspective, and also from the internal supply chain operations component. And then the dot bust happened. The dot bomb is that time where, for a short period of time, a couple of years, the investment community just really ragged on all of the .com, the e-commerce companies, and my business literally overnight went to zero. So when you're making money one day doing what you do really well, and then the next day you're not making money, but you didn't do anything different, there are two lessons that came out of that. One, it wasn't me. Sometimes the market changes. Sometimes the market is fickle. Sometimes things happen where, for things outside of your control, you have no choice. There's nothing can happen, and you need to plan for the day in which things completely change. And that happens to so many businesses so many times. Second thing, have multiple revenue streams. So I had a revenue stream at the time which was really low compared to the other numbers. And when the other numbers went to zero, that revenue stream I had was really high because it pays the bills. So those are the two lessons I learned from that really huge failure.
What are top three success secrets that others can follow?
I sort of look at the big mistakes, and I just did the corollary to the mistakes. So I'll just repeat the best thing you could possibly do, or two success secrets. One, share cred dust. So you want to be able to go out of your way to share the success of other people's, be able to share their ideas, thoughts, and actions, and give them credit for what they do. So you're spreading cred dust. The second is, I say, showing respect. And you show respect by showing up when you show up. And those are three things: coming early, coming prepared, and coming with your heart. And so be able to spread cred dust and show respect are two amazing things you could do. And in the showing respect, there are three things there. So I think those are four things you can do, which would be amazing secrets for success.
So we are entering into a speed round. That means quick questions and quick answers. Are you ready for it?
Sure, this will be fun.
What is the most impactful business book you have read, and what did you learn from it?
I want to share a couple of the authors. My guess is a book I can't show up is Selling the Wheel, for those that are interesting. Selling the Wheel by Jeffrey Cox, 30 years old, 20 years old. Amazing books in terms of understanding what salespeople are. This is one of the books we just recently published by Dr. Terry Jackson, Co-Creation Leadership. The world we're moving into is, it's better not to do everything alone. It's better actually to find people that you work with, find companies to work with, that you partner with, and you co-create a future together. And it's similar to this book by John Philpin, for business leaders slapped in the face by a world they thought they knew. The rules have changed. Everything we're doing has changed, from where people work, how they work, what they do, who you interact with, what your partners are, how you co-create. And so both of those two books, this one by John Philpin, the other by Dr. Terry Jackson, are great ways to view the world that's continually changing and give you aha moments that you can actually take with you and share with your team, with your staff, with outsiders, and actually start spreading the cred dust of these two authors, but also internally completely change the way who you are and what you do.
Mitchell, I see you're author yourself, and can you please show us your book and tell us why people should read that book?
The book is Credibility Nation, international bestseller in 7 countries. And what it does is show a updated definition of the word credibility. It helps you figure out how you can be credible. And more importantly, as you're credible, how you could be more humane to others, not in just how you do business, but who you do business with internally, your team, your employees, as well as your outside people, and internally yourself.
What do you want to be remembered for?
I have now a lifetime goal that came out of the interviews. I did do a TED talk, which you could take a look at. What I'll say is, I will show you, and that is the lifetime goal is tipping the scale between those that are credible and those that are dubious. Today, dubious is winning. What I want to be remembered for is helping to tip the scale.
How do you overcome a challenge life throws at you?
You know, life is life is going to come and you're going to manifest some realities which are good and some which are not. And so to recognize that it's not personal and to figure out what is the best you could do with the situation you are and move on to the next step, and to do it in a co-created way where you could have other people support you, it's the only way you can go.
What do you want to do when you grow up?
Who's going to grow up? Truthfully, I'm doing it right now. It's to tip the scale between those that are credible and those that are dubious. And there's so many different opportunities and so many people to co-create that future with. I'm doing it now and I'm loving it.
Once you have a revenue generating idea, how do you convince your significant other?
You know, I'm lucky enough that if I demonstrate an idea and passion to my wife, um, she she will basically say, "Love it, go with it." And sometimes these ideas really work, and sometimes they don't. And she's often the one that keeps me the even keel, that I don't get ahead of myself when I have this amazing idea, which I think will work. Like I say, some really work and some don't. But it doesn't take a lot of convincing if I have heart and interest and desire to move forward with it.
Full for today.
Hmm. You know, I probably the most thing I'm grateful for having figured out how to redefine credibility in the TED Talk is simply we are losing our humanity, and I'm tired of watching it happen. And so every day I'm waking up helping us bring back our humanity. And I am absolutely grateful that I can see that vision, and it's now something that I'm sharing and other people are adopting, and we're starting to make a change.
And what what is the impact they have on you?
I met Mark Cuban. We were sitting on a panel together in 1996, speaking at a Comdex conference, and I've just watched him grow and to see what he's done, and it's he's become more of a family man, good business person, but living out loud. And I think that's what we all need to do, is to live out loud with good core values and be able to share those, not just in how we make money, which is what he does, but also how he lives his life.
Why being impactful is important to you?
It really is a good word, and for some people it's not. I guess what I'll say for some people, being impactful might be for a small number of people. So for my wife, it's a smaller number of people she wants to be impactful for. For me, we will tip the scale between those that are credible and those that are dubious. And it's important for future generations that we make that happen.
How do you start your day?
When I roll out of bed, probably first thing is always a cup of coffee. I make sure I know what's happening during the day. And when there's time, I'll sit on or stand on the elliptical machine and work out. When there's not time, I just try to get the instant messaging that I get from my team and others and make sure I address them before I've got my first meeting, because my days are typically back to back.
Who is your ideal client?
It's a CEO, executive staff of a company between 5 to 50 million that is growing so fast. They're concerned about maintaining or having a good, credible culture among the employee base in terms of how they deal with each other and deal with their clients.
What is the advice you would give to your younger self?
Buy more Amazon stock and hold it.
How can we support you?
The best thing that I would suggest is Credibility Nation. Thank you. I should look down at the thing, but go to credibilitynation.com. It is a place where you can go for those people who want to be on the credibility journey, because credibility is a journey, not a destination. And we charge so little per month. Love to see you there, interact with you, and help you interact with other people who are also on the same journey with you together. So go to credibilitynation.com.
I know we had a great internet experience. Beside that, what would you say about your guest experience on the show?
This has probably been one of the most challenging interviews because of the lag on the internet. And so I would say for me, it was not fun. But what we all need to do is, whatever challenges come our way, we need to interact with them. And so I didn't know what best to do. So when there was time, when I wasn't there, I just looked at the camera and sort of smiled. And then maybe that's the best way. When I look at the interview, I'll see if that works or not. But yeah, I'd love to see a better internet experience so that it was better for future guests who work with you. By the way, this is a good example. I did actually have that once, where I was actually talking with somebody on an interview, and maybe this is it, Mohammed. Oh, there we go. You're back. Would you say as a final word? Credibility is a journey. Credibility is a choice. Us being more humane to each other is a choice. Don't just talk about it. Actively go after it and do something about it. Watch my TED Talk. Take a look at what credibility really means and start living, acting, breathing, being credible. Thank you. Oh, now you're really whining. I think there's definitely internet problems. So before, I think I'm done. But one of the things that happens when you're a guest on a show, when there's internet problems on the host side, you got to figure out when to talk and when not. And so, and maybe you may have disappeared. So I'll finish this. Oh, you're back. Here, I'll just finish this one statement. I remember somebody actually got a power outage. They were gone for 10 minutes. So what I would say is, hey, the host would have asked me this question, then I answered it. So I just say, no matter where you are, just be prepared for the unusual things that happen. Are you back? The smile is back and the picture is back. So here's what I'm going to say. I think the interview's done, so I'm going to take off. I almost see you moving. Are you back?
Yes.
All right.
Okay. Mitchell, thank you so much for your patience and time, and you shared the wisdom with the entrepreneur mindset.
You are most welcome. You're most certainly you're welcome. Hey guys, come over to creditbuildingnation.com. Take a look. Go to YouTube. Just type in my name and say TED Talk, and there's a TED Talk on helping us in humanity. And Ahmed, thanks so much for having me. And guys, have a great, credible rest of week. Take care. Bye now.